The Smith sisters is a scary urban legend about two young girls who were murdered anonymously while they slept in their bedroom. There was a boy named John Smith who lived in Plainfield, Wisconsin. He was very fond of scary emails and pop-ups. Every day, he would find new ones and send them to everyone he knew. He even started making some himself and sending them to strangers. He loved to scare people on the internet. One day in November 2007, he opened up his inbox and found a message that appeared to be from two young girls. They called themselves the Smith sisters and told him they were his older sisters, which confused him because he was an only child. They also said that, years ago, they had lived in his house. He replied, saying he didn't have any sisters and told them to get lost and leave him alone. The next day, he received a chilling message with some photo attachments. The first photo was of two young girls. The caption on it said Smith sisters murdered anonymously. In the email, the girls said that they were indeed his older sisters. They told him that in 1993 they had lived in his house. His bedroom had once been their bedroom. They told him all about growing up and about their lives and how happy they had been until one horrible night. He opened up the other attachment. It was a scan of an old newspaper article.
In 1993, two sisters were brutally murdered in the small-town community of Plainfield, Wisconsin. Lisa Smith, 19, and her sister, Sarah Smith, 15, were attacked in their parents' home on the night of November 17, around 1:30 a.m. The Smith sisters were lying in bed when a crazed killer broke into the house. No one heard them scream. In the morning, their parents found the dead bodies of the Smith sisters hidden in the bedroom closet. They had been skinned alive. The killer was long gone and no trace of him could be found. They had been murdered anonymously. Police conducted an extensive investigation, but to no avail. The motives for the attack were never discovered, nor was the attacker ever found. The only lead authorities had was a series of strange emails found in Lisa's computer. The case was closed in October of 2000.
In the rest of the email, the sisters said that they were angry that the case was closed and people forgot about them. They were angry that their parents wanted to forget about them too. They were angry that their parents decided to start over and had a new baby. A little boy named John. They were angry that their parents had never mentioned their daughters or their tragic murder to their new son John. John Smith sent an angry reply saying he didn't believe what they were saying. He didn't believe the Smith sisters were really related to him and he didn't believe the newspaper article was real. He told them to go to hell. 5 minutes later, he got another email from them. It said, "If you don't believe us, look in the bedroom closet." That was the last email that was found on John's computer. Police were unable to trace who had sent the messages to him. On the floor of the closet, the police found a faint message, carved in the wood. It simply read Lisa and Sarah, 1993. Underneath that, was another carving that read John 2007. No one knows what John did next, but in the morning, John's parents woke up to find their son missing. Then they checked his bedroom closet and got the shock of their lives. There they found the dead body of their son. He had been skinned alive. No one knows what really happened that night. Police were only able to piece together parts of the story based on what they found on John's computer. The parents were devastated. How could this happen to a family? First their daughters were murdered. And now years later their son is murdered. It seemed too weird to be just a coincidence. Two sisters are murdered and then years later, their brother is murdered in exactly the same way, in exactly the same place. And the only evidence left behind is a few scary emails. Makes you wonder.
Blind Maiden is a scary urban legend from Spain about a bizarre website that offers you the ultimate horror experience. Unfortunately, the experience can prove to be lethal. There is a new urban legend that has been circulating in schools all over Spain. In whispers and rumors, people are talking about a strange website called the Blind Maiden. This legend is almost totally unknown outside of Spain. It was brought to my attention by a Spanish friend of mine. They say that most of the time, the website is offline and you cannot access it, no matter how hard you try. However, according to the rumor, there are 3 rules you must obey in order to access the website. 1. You must be all alone. 2. You must turn off all the lights in your house. 3. You must go to the website at exactly midnight on a moonless night. If you satisfy all of these conditions, you will apparently be granted access to the Blind Maiden site. Once inside, your eyes will immediately be assailed by a never-ending montage of screaming faces. The pictures are of boys and girls, their faces are twisted in tremendous fear, their mouths frozen in a silent scream. Their eyes are missing. The pictures are displayed quickly, flashing up on screen one after the other, with no explanation. According to the legend, some lines of Spanish text will appear on the screen. Roughly translated, the text reads something like this: "This website will take you to a whole new level of horror. A horror that will use all 5 of your senses. You must be very careful not to click on anything by accident. You will be faced with a real experience of absolute horror. Click the accept button to engage actively in the experience." Below the text are 2 buttons, accept and decline. At this point, you'll probably be very curious. You'll probably find yourself tempted to click the accept button. Don't. If you accept the challenge, you will only be taking your life in your hands. Click decline and stay safe. This is what is supposed to happen if you click the button and accept the challenge. To your surprise and horror, you observe on your monitor a sinister silhouette walking towards your own home. You want to wake up. You want this to just be a nightmare. You watch as the specter approaches and enters the same room where you are sitting. You will see, on your monitor, your own back. Then you will feel a presence behind you. You will feel a tap on your shoulder. The last thing you see before you die will be the face of the blind maiden, staring mercilessly at you with her horrible eyes. According to what I've been able to research, they say the blind maiden will rip out your eyes and take a snapshot of your face so that you will forever be a part of the website's picture gallery. Are you willing to take the risk? The choice is yours. As I said earlier, I found out about the Blind Maiden website from a friend of mine who lives in Spain. I don't know whether or not this urban legend is true. As far as I know, the legend is currently unknown outside of Spain. Honestly, I have not yet attempted to find the website. Yes, I admit it. I am too afraid. But I will pass the challenge on to you. Do you dare to check? Is the urban legend true or false? Simply a harmless collection of images and web pages, or a horrible reality? Here is a rough English translation of a comment from a Spanish boy who claims to have accessed the website.
Blind Maiden or La Doncella Ciega or El Ciego de Soltera. Whatever you want to call it, this urban legend is real and I almost suffered the consequences of messing with that crazy site. The story is that there is a web page which you can only enter if you are totally alone, with all the lights off in your home at exactly midnight. After that, whatever you do, don't click where it says accept the challenge because when you do this you will die. Probably within minutes. I didn't take this advice. I did the opposite and totally accepted the challenge. Right at that moment I clicked the button, everything I saw on the screen became so real. I saw a shadow walking towards a place that seemed to be my home and I saw it walk to where I was. Paralyzed by fear, I could not move a muscle. Then it came to the door and began to open it. Right then I turned around and saw the door behind me opening, and then I see this face that was indescribable, but it had no eyes. Then it came closer and I heard it whispering something I could not understand and this face changed and became gruesome and with an expression of terror I will never forget. I ran with everything I could and I tripped over something on the floor and I hit the edge of my study table and I fell unconscious. It seems she must have thought I was dead because thanks to that I survived. Never again in my life will I play with the supernatural and I'll never underestimate its power.
There were 2 girls who were the best of friends in school. When they went to college, they decided to live together and became roommates. One night, they were staying up late, trying to do some last-minute studying for a midterm exam that was scheduled for the next morning. One of the girls was quite lazy, so she decided to give up studying and went to bed early. The other girl was a hard worker, so she stayed up late because she wanted to do well in the exam. During the night, the girl who stayed up remembered that she had left one of the books she needed in her bedroom. She didn't want to wake her roommate by turning on the light, so she sneaked into the bedroom and rummaged around in the dark, looking for the book she needed. She heard some heavy breathing and she whispered her roommate's name, asking her if she was awake. There was no answer. Then the girl heard something moving around in the dark and she whispered, "Can I turn on the bedroom light?" There was no answer. The girl cleared her throat and asked again, "Can I turn on the bedroom light? I need to find something." Her roommate didn't respond. So the girl sighed in frustration and continued to search for the book in the darkened bedroom. Eventually, she found the one she was looking for. The girl took the book and felt her way in the darkness towards the door. She stayed up all night studying and in the morning raced down to the exam hall to take her test. But she noticed that her roommate never showed up for the exam. The girl was worried about her friend, so when she got home, she rushed upstairs and knocked on her roommate's door. There was no answer. The girl was getting quite anxious at this point, so she opened the door and turned on the bedroom light. She was met with the most horrible sight she had ever laid eyes on. Her roommate lay motionless, sprawled on top of her bed in a pool of blood. She had been brutally murdered. Then the girl turned around and saw something that chilled her to the bone. Written on the wall, behind her in smeared blood, were the words, "Aren't you glad you didn't turn on the light?"